Emily stood in front of the mirror, her fingers tracing the delicate contours of her face. The reflection staring back felt like a stranger. She was dressed in a crisp, tailored dress, appropriate for the charity gala that evening. But the excitement that should have accompanied the event was a distant memory. Instead, all she felt was a gnawing emptiness that echoed through her suburban home. "Mom, are you ready?" Her daughter's voice broke through her thoughts, pulling her back to reality. Emily leaned out of her bedroom door, forcing a smile as she watched her daughter twirl in a new dress. "Just about, sweetie," she called back. But the truth was, she felt trapped in a life that had become predictable. Michael, her husband, a successful businessman, had worked tirelessly to build their lives. But in doing so, he had left little room for anything beyond work and routine. Their evenings were spent in silence, a comfortable yet stifling atmosphere settling over their home. As they drove to the gala, the streets glimmered with the last remnants of sunset, casting a warm glow over the neighborhood. Emily glanced at her daughter, her mind racing with unfulfilled dreams and unbidden desires. She wanted more excitement, more passion, a taste of life beyond the confines of her suburban existence. The gala buzzed with laughter and chatter, the air thick with the scent of expensive cologne and floral arrangements. Emily felt a slight thrill as she entered, her heels clicking on the marble floor. She scanned the crowd, a swirl of familiar faces and distant acquaintances. Then she saw him, Alex. He was charismatic, charming, an electric presence amidst the mundane. Their eyes met, and a jolt of recognition sparked between them. Emily, right? His smile was disarming, and she felt an inexplicable pull towards him. They spoke, laughter tumbling from their lips as the world around them faded. But as the evening wore on, the laughter felt like an escape, a break from the reality she had created. It was intoxicating. The night ended with a lingering touch, a promise unspoken but palpable in the air between them. As she returned home, the thrill of the evening battled with a creeping guilt, but she couldn't shake the feeling of being alive. That night, lying next to Michael, Emily felt a chasm between them. The warmth of his body was there, but the emotional distance felt vast. She closed her eyes, wondering if this newfound excitement could fill the void in her life. Days turned into weeks, each moment filled with stolen glances and secret conversations with Alex. What started as flirtation quickly morphed into an affair that consumed her thoughts. Emily found herself lost in the thrill of their encounters, the passion igniting a fire within her that she didn't know still existed. Yet the guilt gnawed at her, a constant reminder of her betrayal. "Emily, you seem different lately," her friend Rachel remarked one afternoon over coffee, her brow furrowing with concern. "Is everything okay?" "Of course, just busy with the kids and, life," Emily replied, forcing a smile as she stirred her drink. But inside, she was a tempest of emotions, oscillating between exhilaration and despair. As she juggled the demands of motherhood and her infidelity, cracks began to form in her carefully constructed facade. Michael was attentive, but distant. Their conversation shifted from warmth to coldness, and Emily felt the weight of her secret pressing down on her. Yet the thrill of Alex kept her from fully confronting her reality. One evening, as she prepared dinner, Michael walked in, his expression unreadable. "Can we talk?" he asked, his voice steady but strained. "Sure, what's up?" Emily's heart raced, fear creeping in. "I've been feeling disconnected," he started, his eyes searching hers. I want to know if something's bothering you." The truth hung in the air like a storm cloud, but she swallowed hard, forcing a smile. "I'm just tired, you know. The kids, work." "Emily," he interrupted, his voice firm. "I need you to be honest with me. Are you happy?" The question pierced through her, and for a moment, she considered confessing everything. But the thought of losing him, losing her children, made her heart race with panic. "Of course, I'm happy," she lied, her voice trembling. As the days passed, Emily's guilt became suffocating. The affair, once a thrilling escape, had morphed into a prison of her own making. She found herself tangled in a web of deceit, each lie leading her deeper into turmoil. Then came the night everything changed. Emily met Alex at their usual spot, a dimly lit bar that felt like a world away from her reality. As they laughed and shared stolen kisses, her phone buzzed with a text from Michael. "Where are you?" Her heart dropped. "I have to go," she whispered, panic flooding her veins. "What's wrong?" Alex asked, a shadow of concern crossing his face. "Nothing. I need to go home," she stammered, her heart racing as she fled the bar, leaving behind the thrill and excitement that had consumed her. When she arrived home, the tension in the air was palpable. Michael stood in the living room, arms crossed, his face etched with worry. "Emily, where have you been? I've been trying to reach you." "I was just out with friends," she replied, her voice shaking. "Friends? You've been distant and I need to know why. What's going on?" he pressed, his voice rising. The pressure built within her as she faced him, the weight of her infidelity crashing over her like a tidal wave. I don't know, Michael. I just feel trapped," she burst out, her emotions spilling over. "Trapped? Is that why you've been sneaking around?" His voice turned cold, and she flinched at the accusation. "What are you talking about?" she stammered. But even as the words left her mouth, she knew she'd been caught. The truth hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. Michael's expression shifted, a storm brewing in his eyes. "I know about Alex." Time froze as her heart sank. "What? How?" she whispered, panic flooding her. "I saw you two together," he said, his voice steady but laced with hurt. "You think I wouldn't notice? You've been lying to me." Emily's world crumbled around her. The foundation of her life began to shake, and she felt the ground give way beneath her. "Michael, please let's talk about this," she pleaded, desperation creeping into her voice. "There's nothing to talk about," he replied, his voice cold and distant. "I want a divorce." The words hung in the air, a finality that shattered her. The realization of what she had done hit her like a punch to the gut, leaving her gasping for breath. She had lost everything in her quest for fulfillment, and now she stood alone, the weight of her choices crashing down like a heavy fog. In the following days, the fallout was swift and brutal. Friends turned away, whispers of betrayal echoing behind her back. Emily felt the isolation wrap around her like a shroud, each glance of pity from acquaintances piercing her heart. Michael, hardened by betrayal, sought legal counsel, his focus laser-sharp on securing their children's custody. The courtroom became a battleground, where every word, every accusation was weaponized against her. "Emily, you destroyed your family," the judge's voice rang out, the finality of the statement echoing in her ears. She sat in silence, her heart heavy with regret, each word a reminder of the life she had shattered. The courtroom felt like a prison, the walls closing in around her. Emily's hands trembled as she listened to Michael's attorney lay out the case against her. "She's an unfit mother, Your Honor. She has engaged in an affair, that compromises her ability to provide a stable environment for the children. Each accusation felt like a dagger, each word driving deeper into her heart. Emily's mind raced with thoughts of her children, the laughter, the hugs, the fleeting moments of joy. She had sacrificed everything for a moment's thrill, and now she faced the consequences. "Emily, do you have anything to say?" her attorney prompted, breaking through her thoughts. I love my children," she stammered, her voice cracking. "I made a mistake, but I'm still their mother. I can provide for them. I can be there for them." Michael's gaze bore into her, a mixture of anger and hurt etched onto his face. "You think love is enough?" he challenged, his voice steady. "You chose excitement over your family. You chose Alex over us." The truth stung, and Emily felt the weight of her decisions crashing down around her. In that moment, she realized that she had to confront the reality of her choices, to own up to the consequences of her actions. "I was lost, Michael," she admitted, her voice trembling. "I was searching for something outside of myself, but I see now how wrong I was." As the trial dragged on, Emily's father reached out to her, offering support from the shadows of their strained relationship. "I want to help you," he said during a tense phone call, his voice filled with a seriousness she hadn't heard in years. "You're my daughter, and I don't want to see you lose everything." With his support, Emily found a renewed sense of strength. She fought for her children, not just in the courtroom, but in her actions every day. She attended parenting classes, therapy, anything that could prove her commitment to being a better mother. With each step, she began to rebuild the bridge with her father, rekindling their long-lost relationship. Then, during a pivotal moment in the courtroom, something shifted. Michael's attorney presented evidence that shook Emily's world yet again. "We have reason to believe that Michael has not been entirely honest in this matter," the attorney said, revealing texts and emails that hinted at Michael's own struggles and infidelities. Emily felt a surge of hope wash over her as the judge listened intently, the atmosphere in the room shifting. "Your Honor," she pleaded, "I made choices that I regret, but I am here fighting for my children. I want to be better for them." The judge nodded, a flicker of understanding in her eyes. "This court values the best interest of the children," she said, before turning to Emily. "Your commitment to change is noted." Finally, after weeks of tension, the ruling came. Emily was granted joint custody of her children, a bittersweet victory that brought both relief and sorrow. As she left the courtroom, the weight on her shoulders lightened, and she felt a sense of freedom that had eluded her for so long. In the aftermath, Emily learned to navigate her new life, focusing on her children and mending relationships, including the one with her father. With time, she found solace in her vulnerability, embracing the lessons learned from her past mistakes. As she stood in her home one evening, watching her children play, she felt a sense of peace settle over her. She had faced the consequences of her choices and emerged stronger, ready to forge a new path filled with honesty and connection. In the quiet of her home, as laughter filled the air, Emily realized that true fulfillment wasn't found in fleeting moments of excitement, but in the enduring connections she forged with her children and family. The journey was painful, marked by loss and regret, but it had also illuminated a path toward redemption. Standing at the crossroads of her past and future, she understood that vulnerability was not a weakness, but a strength, a reminder that every choice shapes the course of one's life. With each day, Emily embraced her journey of self-discovery, knowing that the echoes of her past would guide her towards a brighter tomorrow. What do you believe motivated Emily to seek fulfillment outside her marriage? Tell us what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.